Welcome to the richness of our lives. I'm Mary Scott, and this is where we celebrate the wisdom, courage, and stories that shape us. Every 2 weeks, I sit down with entrepreneurs, coaches, and remarkable people who've walked through fire and come out transformed. This isn't just about success. It's about the richness of the human experience. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's dive deep. Welcome to the Richness of Our Lives podcast. I'm your host, Mary Scott, and thank you for being here and making a difference out in the world to the richness of people's lives. And today our guest is no exception. This gentleman lives just out of Gosford, New South Wales, here in Australia, particularly potent for people listening and watching this from overseas. He brings a massive amount of business acumen to the table, coupled with ancient Indian wisdom. And this is what I love about him, how he manages to bring those two parts of himself and much more, I might add, to the table and to his work. He is also the founder of the Australian Institute for Ayurveda and Yogic Science. It sounds complicated, but this gentleman makes it sound like a symphony that works together very well. Let me welcome Ashok Alexander to our podcast. Hello, Ashok. How are you today?
Good, Mary. And thank you for inviting me to this your podcast. And it's a privilege and a beautiful day as well. And I would like to be here with you and share my journey. And for that, thank you.
You're so welcome. It's lovely to have you here. Ashok, I thought we would go back a couple of years. Well, it's more than a couple, when you had a most amazing business, growing crazy, making lots of money, to collapse, burnout, and some of how you healed, or the start of your healing may have been a 4,000-kilometre walk across Australia. Oh my goodness, a journey of transformation. Tell us a little bit about how you got to that.
Thank you, Mary. So if I have to bring into that walk, I have to give you a bit of background of me. I was born in India, and I come from a Christian family, where it's very, my dad had to do a lot to make his life, and we were all educated in a way that we have to be out there doing things so that we accumulate fame, wealth, and very traditional understanding of how, or not so traditional, but it's very prevalent in India at that time. And study well, became engineer, and then came to Australia and continued my journey into working here, Sydney Uni briefly, and then starting my business. That was a beautiful time in IT space, where the IT boom was starting. It's the Y2K, when plane could have crashed and all that. So I made a very good growth, like among the uni students, getting the sports car, and really doing well in starting up with one shop, two shops, then multiple offices, and moved to Darwin, had back office in India, Philippines, and China. And it really grew well. And it's towards like about 15 years, it felt like it's all building up. And then one day it just vanished like a pack of cards. Like
It
really,
just vanished. It
yeah,
just vanished.
that's,
Oh,
I mean, the business collapsed, and that really gave me a feeling, how is that possible? I mean, I have never experienced such a thing. Like, whenever it's all very realistic, like if you're going from grade 1 to grade 2 to grade, you just feel like this, like a climb. And here I worked day in, day out for 15 years and 15, 18 years, and like just like all gone, staff gone, people
yeah.
gone, stock gone. Reputation gone, the friends gone. I mean, I was just so shocked. Is that real? I mean, what's real left in this? Luckily, like my family stuck together, and then, yeah, I still had my education and roof over my head, but it was a big, big shock. And at that time, I was not ready to get into a business or get into work or anything. Like my mind was totally screwed. Like, what do I, what is the logic? What's the base I'm standing on? It's all
Yeah.
looks like very fragile. And that's when I decided to go for this walk. It was about, I went back to my parents first and I stayed with them. They were getting old. And I hadn't spent much time with them. It was all work, work, even with my family. So working very long hours and even night thinking about work. And from there to be with them, that's when I luckily got onto one book about a person who walked across Australia. It was Jeff, who in 1982 or something. So it was his journey, and I thought, oh wow, I connect with nature. I really love nature, and I love walking. So I think it's something possible. I have no like I for me, health was like get the best health insurance was the best I could think about health, taking
Yeah.
care of health. Yeah. So I that time it's natural to get cancer or as you get older, heart attack, and that's how the life should progress is meant to progress. And so like so when this happened, then I thought there's a possibility. At least I don't want to finish with the like something. I how can this 15 year, 20 years of my work effort of so much work can be all nothing. So
Yeah.
I said I didn't want to accept that. So that's when I decided to go for like read that book, made the possibility that I it's possible. I told my wife. It was very confusing and
What did she say, Ashok, when you said,
yeah, that's because first she was very excited. Like she thought, oh wow, it's somebody can walk like that because uh, it's even possible was a big time for her to realize. For me too, I first thought I'll just go till Catherine, like 300 kilometers.
where did you start? So
Darwin.
Darwin, and you
Yeah.
thought you'd just go to Catherine.
Yeah, like about 300 kilometers. At least I'll try something. It's
Yeah.
possible or not because it's all like terrains and you don't
It's
know how.
crazy. And for the listeners, do your geography so you can follow this. It's very fascinating. Australia is a massive
So massive,
country.
yeah. I
Go
walked
on.
for almost 1 month and you can see a small line in the map. I'm not even outside a state of Northern Territory. So it took 2 months to just get out of Northern Territory. So I mean, so that's when I started to prepare myself for my health was very, very basic. I could only do like 4 5 laps with my kids in the pool. And when that mind became so like really that you have to get done, I was doing 25 30 laps eventually. So I was surprised that all that energy and power is within me to really drive me so much. So when I was competing with my son kids, I know I might have been taking it leisurely, but still 3 4 rounds, I'm really puffed up, and there's no way I could have gone any even a lap extra. So from there to then do 30 rounds and with a backpack walk for 90 minutes, treadmill 2 times, and doing running, and oh my God, the amount of skill I had to build up, and it's possible. That's the biggest challenge. And then I went some dry run, like a small 10 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 100 kilometer, just to see is it possible because in Australia, you know how big road trains
Yes, the road
and
trains are massive. Yeah. So
yeah,
you got underway, you left Darwin.
yeah.
2 months out, you'd only just got out of the Northern Territory. What happened then?
Yeah, then I mean, when I came back, my wife had like I didn't connect, but she had to take as much challenges as I did because she had to fight a lot of these. There was legal challenges because the company had to have liquidator, then kids in the high school and family asking did your husband go crazy and like
Yeah, what's
everything.
happened to him? Goodness,
Yeah,
what's
it's like
happened?
it's what so it. she managed it really well, and she started with a lot of confusion, anger, crying. I mean, all spectrum I seen, but she managed it all. And finally, she said, "If you're going, just make sure you don't call me anywhere in the between. Just take care of yourself.
Just
Go."
get on with it, would you?
Yeah, get out. So luckily,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
yeah, luckily my son joined for a couple of days. That really grounded me because I was had no clue of what I'm taking. My bag was so heavy, but my son had done some what you call backpacking school exercise, and he reduced. Dad, do you really need this? Do you need this? And
how
then
old was he, Ashok, at that
he's
time?
in year 12 then.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so he said, hang on, Dad, that's too much. Pause.
Yeah, and then he came with me for a couple of days. That really helped me because even that connection was never that strong because we two, he opened up and I said, "Oh my God, does he know so much?" I've been treating him like a kid and he
Yes.
has grown so much, and I was so surprised. And yeah, that walk was so amazing, and the number of people we connect, because many times we live a very stereotypical life. We have our own belief, our own packaging, and
Yes.
then that's how we believe. And then the capacity of a human, or the human potential, is so enormous, and we miss like 99% of it most of the time. I mean, to most of us, it's very, we accumulate things as when we were kid, and we haven't explored self. It's like you have this spacecraft and you're riding it like a bicycle, because mentally,
Oh, yes. That is such a good visual, isn't it?
yeah, I
Wow.
mean,
So how long did it take you and where did
six
you end up?
6 months. So, I mean, the amount of food was like this much, and I could walk that much, and my energy was strong, and my mental strength became different. So via Queensland towards south, because we had to plan for, there was a lot of planning involved as well. I got a person who does a lot of camping, because we have to make sure of I have to make sure of the weather pattern, because if you do faster 3 days cycling, you don't have to worry about the weather. Then this one, I have to know where the rain is, where the temperature is going to pick up,
Yes.
when the wind would pick up, in which months, in which places I would be, where it would be the rest area, what would be the some of the challenging stretches, and how would I plan for that. So it was very interesting. Like, it really pushed me mentally and physically. And that Jeff, in his book, he said the walking is only like 10% of the challenge, or 20% of the challenge, 80% is mental. I thought, bloody, if this walk itself is so challenging. I mean, I was sweating when I started from Darwin. It was so challenging. I had a like two-wheel cart with me, and it was
Yep.
tipping here, there. And I said, I wouldn't even walk till Catherine. Forget about, yeah. I mean, it was taking so long. But
Yes.
eventually that rhythm stick in, and my, even the smallest, the brain is so powerful device. Like, imagine you can take a 5 mg pill and it regulates your body. So how precise that instrument is.
Yes.
So
And
it's,
and what was the, if you could package up, what was the biggest learning or no, it wasn't a learning, it was a transformation. Let's not play
yeah,
this down. From when you started to when you
yeah.
reached your destination.
So the biggest learning, the growth I got is, like, for me, it's like God or the nature or whatever, the higher conscious, whatever we can call that, has given us so much. We take it for granted. That was the biggest message. As in, like, I'm standing on a mountaintop and I dropped a pebble, and then I'm also upset about this pebble drop. And it's because when somebody gives me a bottle of water when I'm walking so hard, it's sweaty and tiring, you feel, oh, are you really sure? It's like giving me a gold nugget. Like, are you really sure you're going to give me the whole liter of water for nothing? And yeah, like, it's the best taste you could feel. Like, I mean, if that person was in that mind, would give away anything of what he has, a possession, and it's not
Yes.
joking. Like, there was a stretch of about 5 kilometers, I ran out of water, and then I was so panicking, that, oh, what if there is no more water? Like, it's only 5 kilometers. I was not able to focus into my walk because they say in these stories of people, they still have some water left, but they just in desert if they get lost.
Yes, yes, I've heard that before myself. Places like the Sahara and things like that, where
Yeah,
they get very disorientated very quickly, but
very
they've still got
quickly.
water. Yes.
Yeah, that water, I mean, and similarly, sunlight towards Yas. And when I was coming south Canberra, the temperature was in minus degrees, and my tent would be covered with like a ice sheet. Like, so I will be in my blanket, but it will be so freezing. And if the first light of sun would make you so like beautiful feeling,
Yes.
I mean, your whole, all the like, I mean, it's hard to, you can just sit and cry. You see the celebration in nature, all the birds, and it's like a celebration every day. They are really like for us, we have celebration once or twice. They celebrate every day, like
They
the
do.
plants and all that opening up, the ants starting to run around because you start to gain that energy. And imagine the sun doesn't come. I
Well,
mean,
that's right.
yeah,
Yes.
like,
And you said people gave you water. What? They just random people that you didn't know just
yeah.
came.
That's another thing. Like we think the world is so chaotic, this and and the world is full of beautiful people. It's only when you get into these challenges, like when there is some cyclone or some damages, how much people come into that.
Yes.
Goodwill has just been in depth. We are covered up with so much of like soil on top of it, but the beauty is still so deeply natural for humans. And people come out and give me so many really like they went any like to for stay, and random people like I'm being running like a homeless. I wanted to get a feeling of what,
Yes.
like there are people who would go around me. Like there was a rest area, I was standing staying there, nobody was there. There's a car which pulled in, and as soon as they saw me, they just ran. There's all
How
kind
big
of,
was your beard? How big was
like
your
it
beard?
came till here. Like, yeah, I just,
Yes.
there's a Facebook page, 5 million steps, and yeah, you can see that photos and all that. So that, I mean, and we just live in a way which was very like restrictive, but there's so much out there in the human spectrum of mind, and this
Yeah.
becomes like the normal, but this is all the normal of human. Uh,
Yes, I love what you're saying. That's beautiful. And, you scared people and they drove off. And, you know, in some ways it was their loss because
I was
they
so,
missed the opportunity to have conversation and connection with you.
yeah,
That's lovely. And how often in life we
you miss.
miss those connections because we make judgments
Yeah,
before we ask questions. And that's what happened there. There was no questions. They were off.
yeah, true, Mary. We always want to stick with people who are similar to us, but the maximum life growth comes from people who are most different to us. If we have the patience and we have the acceptance, we gain so much because if we have that courage to stay with it and be accepting that person for who that person is, there's so much
Yes, yes.
growth possible.
It reminds me of how we can make stories up so
Quickly,
quickly,
yeah.
and we decide things and it's so premature because then you ask a question. That's what I say to my clients. Just be more curious, ask a better question. And then people start talking, and I can see sometimes about me, for example, they see this older lady and they make assumptions about this older lady. And if they don't ask me, I get rejected, if you like.
Hmm.
It sounds a bit harsh, but I do.
Yeah.
Or if people ask questions, then there's the invitation, and that's what you were doing. You're inviting people just by being yourself
Hmm.
and being with nature. How beautiful. I love what you said about the birds and just the whole richness. And that's such a juicy conversation, isn't it? Because
Uh,
I've got birds out here today, so have you. And
we will.
sometimes I do catch myself and I say, "Oh, that's lovely. Thank you." I say to the birds.
Yeah, like San Francis, in his book, he has been mentioning about how trees sing. So it's like there are some trees like bell trees or like beautiful leaves, and they make such a beautiful like music. That's
They
only when you
do.
go to nature and just settle in that you can observe these deep, like beauty, because the nature wants to give you so much, and it's such a pity that many times we die empty. It's such a loss.
Yes. Oh,
So
think
that's
about what you just said. We die empty, and what a tragedy.
yeah.
So let's move on, because I know that you've had a love of yoga and a teacher back in Darwin. And so what's happened with all of that? Because here you are, a wellness educator. You know, you bring so much knowledge. Tell us about what you're doing now and how you're changing lives.
Yeah, so I'll just bridge it a little bit around from where this learning got into from where I am now. Is what happened is that I've been to many red carpet events, chief ministers event, and because we were marketing so much, we were getting trips to Japan and all that from Channel 7 and so many luxuries, and I was still not so feeling. People outside might feel, oh, this fellow is successful, but inside I was feeling very not content, not clear, not the fear was too many. What if it all goes? And then in this walk, I'm walking in the tar, and I'm feeling so happy. I'm just thinking, "Oh, it doesn't resonate. My tent is only $50 tent, and I'm sleeping so well, and it's not making any common sense." So then I decided to go into learning more about the Indian wisdom, because while I was born in India, many people in India don't understand all this deeper wisdom. And then I started to know about yoga. I just went to yoga classes just that I don't get ankle twist or something, but because of this walk. But then I said, yoga means union. Why does yoga doesn't mean exercise? Yoga means union. And then the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the book itself, only there's two or three lines about yoga asana, the action, the physical exercise. The whole book is nothing about exercise. It
No.
is making your mind and body ready to experience that union. So then what is this union? And then went through a lot. I went through Ayurveda, which is the medical area. That's about lifestyle and yoga. It has beautiful, so many stages. Medit like how the water has to be, like the water flow has to be, it gets into a level where it just trips, but you don't hear the noise. So that's
Yes.
the flow state. So we have to get into that as a human. We are in that nature and us are same, like it's resonating. It's a music. And
Yes.
that's where
And the
we,
flow state is very powerful.
yeah, then you don't know where what you're creating is becomes more magical, where there's no fear. And so we should express that in today's world everywhere, not only just in our creative space, but also in our life. So we, uh, so that's a separate subject, but for me, going into this helped me into expanding my mind and lot of those beliefs and limitations. And so I experienced through meditation, which helps you intellectually to open up. I went to some ayahuasca experiences, which is more like more deep emotional healing, purges you, and a lot of those it's shaman run. So there are many different modalities help to get rid of all the things we have accumulated in ourselves. Most of the problem is, like, if we have that child energy in us, and with that adult logical mature mindset, that's a beautiful space to be in. You're so fluid.
Oh, that's lovely. And
And
I
then
like that. That's a beautiful combination. And all this exploration, did you do this on your own, or did your family do it with you? Is it been
uh,
a family thing where you've all traveled? It's a bit like a pilgrimage, isn't it?
no, yeah, true. I went to India. I stayed. That's few. My wife really helped me finance. Like we had to re took money from some of the home loans and all that. But I went and did my courses in India, Shivananda's like ashrams. So I'm just thinking how they do things. What do they give priority for? All that. Like say some of the places I went, like meditation. There's a 10-day retreat, which is like meditation. It helps you heal intellectual problems. But the other part was serving them, serving people. In that serving, the meditation is more important than even serving. How can meditate? Because I thought, oh, if I have to do for other people, no, you have to take care of yourself. So your meditation is more important. So if you have something left, leave that and focus on do that 3 hours meditation per day, and then come back to finishing that. In the first few days, it was a little bit challenging, but as it progressed, it became so smooth. Like all people were ready to support each other. We were all working in a unison. We were only 8 people supporting 120 meditators. And there was a guy who works in a cafe, Mark, and he told us that I wish my workplace was this smooth. We are
Yes,
thinking,
yes,
yeah, like so all those amazing experience can happen. It's only that's the area of where that seed grows. That area, if you can incubate and hold on to that and believe in that, that magic will start to appear after. So this is where I thought, okay, this incubation needs some kind of somebody to guide them, support them. So that is where my journey into first I try to understand myself. Now in that journey, I even in that ayahuasca experience, while it's like a challenging, it's many times it's people don't understand, appreciate, but it was an experience we decided to go as a family. Other experience, I went myself. My wife have joined coaching. My son has used so much more of this psychologist support and meditation and a lot of, so personal care is the priority, because
yes,
if
it
you
is.
are personal, you won't just go away, you come back to nature. So people worry that if somebody is taking care of themselves, they'll just be very mean. They haven't taken care of themselves enough, because if that person gets full, it's like eating food. Once he's full, wait till he's full. Just don't worry that he's focusing on eating, 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 because there's no way that the nature wouldn't make him full sooner or later.
Yes,
And once
yes.
he's full, he has no option but to let go and share.
Yeah, that's lovely. And look after yourself first,
Yeah,
and then
and
you can serve others. And that's beautiful. That's something that been teaching for years. Like you've got to look after yourself first.
yeah,
And it's lovely to hear you say that because it's an absolute priority,
yeah,
especially in the business that you're in and I am in, of helping people and serving people. And if you don't look after yourself, well, the wheels fall off eventually.
true.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so you had a lot of dedication
yeah,
to where you wanted to take this, and that's inspiring in itself, Ashok, especially as a family, and the support that you have and they have and you all have for each other is inspiring. So I'm glad to know that part.
yeah.
Go on. So where has it taken you?
So there's a basic philosophy I really have that underlying for me, which I can see how the Western society is kind of disaligned at this stage, is we struggle for happiness. We try to see that if I can get happier sooner, the better. But
Yeah.
in the understanding, there is 4 lines in a shloka. Shloka is like kind of a verses in Indian understanding is Sarvo swastir bhavatu. Let everybody be healthy.
Yeah.
Sarvo shantir bhavatu. Let everybody be peaceful. Sarvo purnam bhavatu. Let everybody get fulfilled. Sarvo mangalam bhavatu. Let everybody be happy. So the happiness is coming forth. So the first is saying be healthy. So healthy looks first step. Second step, be peaceful. So once you are healthy, you want to create a peace around you. So you are more ready to compromise, more willing to acknowledge, you're more willing to accept. And then the third step is fulfillment, is that once you know and you are sitting with yourself, you would know where the gap areas are, acknowledging and fulfilling yourself. And that fulfillment is eventually bringing you happiness. It's not the first is the happiness. So my journey is to bring that awareness through my work into seeing that person to feel, experience themselves, because we are not even tuned to our own self, like very, like we have the sensation in our whole body. The Indian understanding of science, the biggest science person can interact is the science of experiencing themselves, because that's the ultimate truth for that person. Because if I'm feeling hot, I am feeling hot. I mean, and that itself, people are not able to connect. That's so surprising that that person hasn't had the capacity to experience that person's inner self. So,
That's
wherein
right.
even to acknowledge that person is in fear, acknowledging that person is sad, we don't do that in this society. We are just chasing the happiness, which is so. Then it becomes like a cover. It becomes like a show off. It becomes like a pretend. It's not
Yes.
coming ground up.
Yeah, I
So
love that. I love what you're saying. And I'm just going to reiterate it because I think it's wonderful for our listeners. Just give me the happiness, will you? I like the instant gratification. But
yeah,
the truth is, we must seek it. We must seek our own fulfillment and our own deep awareness,
yeah,
and follow your flow and natural progression. Oh, and there's the happiness.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
quite a different path, isn't it?
But yeah, we are not chasing for happiness. Happiness is a result. It's like any dish is made. So the dish ultimate, or the tree, the mango is the result. We just
Yes.
assume that as the, oh, I want a mango. You can't just wish for mango and crave for mango, and
No.
then you have to plant a seed.
Yes, lovely.
The
That's a good
intention.
example,
Yeah.
especially in this country where the mango season is, oh,
Yeah.
it's
Darwin
approaching.
takes beautiful mangoes. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so you've also aligned yourself with some really very esteemed doctors in India.
Yeah.
Tell me how that came about.
So then I was teaching yoga. I decided to move from IT. I had a good run. I made good money. So now I thought, oh, when wellness is, if you see that suffering or pain around you, you want to be of help. And as you, especially, you can see, acknowledge, and you have now with my walk seen the potentiality of human, as in mentally, physically, spiritually being aligned with the nature. Because in today's science, we imagine if somebody says, okay, let's have a breathing in is a science, breathing out is a separate science, and then we'll only study breathing in. You say, oh, that's crazy. How, what does it mean? Like breathing in has to go with breathing out. So now
Yes,
imagine like we are breathing out and the tree is breathing in and the tree is breathing. Oh, but that's separate science. Don't worry about that. Let's just focus here. It's incomplete. It's
yes,
so Ayurveda and the older wisdom makes it so common sense. It's not like voodoo. Like many times we think that, oh, these guys don't know anything, but it starts with the very common sense of very experiential awareness, and it integrates everything. And then you see, oh, that makes definitely, if something is hot, you keep something more hotter. This is meant to get hotter. So if a
that's
person
right.
is like if you give alcohol to a person, alcohol is hot in nature. If this person has to get more hotter, he will get more angry, agitated, driven. So this is a very natural connection with that. So, so you don't have to bring out, oh, alcohol is in branded or anything. Like, make it as simple as possible. It's very common sense. Then if this person has to cool down, give him some cooling element like buttermilk or something if he is ready to take at that time. But I mean, or a glass of
That's
water.
important. That's important. If they are ready and open, and yes.
Yeah, so many times it's so I thought, okay, I want to bring this knowledge which is lacking, which can work with the modern science, modern understanding of, like, because don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating that go only that, because the modern science and modern development has helped into taking care of many urgent issues which people get into accidents, and but where it's lifestyle, where it's a bigger understanding, holistic understanding, this has to be the framework where the modern solutions is adding on to and expanding that growth and knowledge. And so this is where my understanding of, so I decided to create this organization which is called Australian Institute of Ayurveda. and yogic sciences. I called it sciences for the reason that I know that people are doubtful. But for me, I don't think there is any more science as grounded as like similar to Ayurveda or yoga. It's all very natural, like how you're working your muscle, and it's all very, very like in yoga. There's no other exercise, no other gym. You can make 350 muscles of yours work at one time. There is sun salutation, and there are exercise from your eyeballs to your toes to your everything. It's getting worked out. Like
That's right. It's all inclusive, is what
yeah,
you're saying.
so
And yes, I did hot yoga for a very long time, and how intricate my body worked.
true.
I went every day for 2 years. I was completely hooked. I've moved away from that now. Like physically, it's not possible, but it struck me because, we say, let's do our yoga practice. And I used to think, what do they mean? But but it's like being a perpetual student and have
Um,
curiosity about who we are and how we best function. I think that's what you're saying. Have I
yeah,
understood
true.
you correctly?
I mean, that becomes a life mission to
Yes.
understand myself and the nature around me is the life mission. Because everything else, like anything you accumulate, like whether it's a toy, you have to get bored with it sooner or later. Whatever is around you is not connected. It's not, you just holding on, which is deteriorating, is going to make you upset. Like say, whether it's a car, house, or anything, something which is working with you, growing you, helping you grow is the one which you would want to be associated with eventually and give
Yes,
you.
that's beautiful. We're getting very close to closing, but I know, Ashok, you and I could talk for a very long time. What would you say to someone listening to this they're just not feeling balanced? What's one thing that you could give to our audience today? Apart from come and visit you straight away,
Yeah,
what's one thing that you could say to someone to at least start them on this journey of exploration about their physicality and their mental?
yeah, I think it goes to, that's a very powerful question. And I've been always been aware of that. So I mean, understanding, and I'm thinking how I can connect it with very common people to really bring that message across is, for me, it is from the space of awareness. So awareness looks like it might be what's happening around you, and trusting in you is the source, because it's your apparatus, in the science apparatus. Because if your apparatus is defective, it's not clean, it's not polished, it will give you wrong information. So if you can get
Lovely.
the apparatus right, so the very powerful and very helpful way is to observe your sensation. Because if you bring your finger and just observe, you can see the blood. Like we might know breath, we can feel the breath, then we can feel our heartbeat, then we can even feel our pulses, then we can feel the blood circulation in our body, then we can feel the cellular level, then you can
Yes,
get into the energy level. You can feel that like silent a vibration in the whole body happening, and then that
love
connect.
it.
So the deeper you can bring your subtleness in your awareness, and be aware of where you are, what you are, and your surrounding, and you start making beautiful difference. You see there's so much growth always happening, and then just accept it. Because there's a fear in not accepting what you are seeing, but you would be so much more free. You would be so much more powerful. You would be so much more infinite if you can embrace that. It feels very challenging because you're losing yourself. It feels like, oh, this is what I've been holding on. Imagine if I just hold on to my business. I could have been just a business owner, and now that business is gone. They say when we are born, we hold our fist like this, and we're letting it release when you're done.
Oh, beautiful, like the
So,
lotus flower.
yeah, so it's the nature is to let go, and then we become part of nature. We get the infinite wisdom.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. And that is a good place to end our discussion today. Thank you very much, Ashok, for what you've brought here to this podcast. And I know that you and I will be speaking again, but thank you so much for being with us today. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Mary, and thanks once again for this session and connecting with you once again.
Thank you for joining us on The Richness of Our Lives. If today's conversation stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Connect with me on social media, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are ready to step into your own bold journey, join our vibrant Chair Squad. We meet weekly for coaching and connection. Until next time, continue to embrace the richness of your life. I'm Mary Scott, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.